Hello there. We're here standing beside the Wisconsin Geological Natural History Survey, and this is where I've been interning this summer. Come on, follow me. Let's go inside.
Looking down upon this earth, all the treasures lying there, I wonder what they're worth. People put a price on all the elements within. All I know, geology rocks.
At its core, the survey is committed to understanding the Earth, charting its history, and sustaining its resources. I help the survey's mission by working in the Outreach Department under Dr. Mary Carol McCartney. We strive to educate the public about the history and science behind Wisconsin geology. At the Geological Survey, we study a lot of rocks. We study other things too, like minerals, groundwater, glaciers, and the interaction of all the natural earth processes. But it's mostly just rocks. And in order to study rocks, you have to be able to identify them. Sometimes when you try to identify a rock, there are very obvious features that show. But other times, you can't quite tell the difference. That's why geologists came up with an identification system. The system aims to hone in on key features that makes an individual rock unique. But this system doesn't work just for rocks. It works for people too. We're going to go through 3 key features of rocks: color, luster, and hardness. And I'll show you how this identification system can be used for people too.
But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors.
Color. It's the most easily identifiable property of rocks and minerals. But color also seems to be the easiest way to classify a person. In A Cup of Water Under My Bed, a memoir, Daisy Hernandez recounts her experience being the only Latina at the New York Times. The environment at the WGNHS isn't hostile like it was at the New York Times for Ms. Hernandez. But that doesn't change the fact that my fellow intern, Ricardo, and I were some of the only people of color at the workplace. In a previous job I held, I felt like I was being unconsciously judged for not knowing enough about my culture, and that made me feel like I didn't belong. In rock formations, the presence of trace minerals can alter the appearance of the rock color to the point where you might not recognize the original material. If the color is altered, you might assume certain properties of the rock sample that are just false, and you wouldn't be using the sample for its intended purpose. So with people and rocks, using color alone is a highly inaccurate identification method.
Shine bright like a diamond, oh. Shining bright like a diamond, beautiful like diamonds in the sky.
Luster. This property is a measurement of how well a mineral can reflect light. And different people have different reflectance values as well. Determining the luster of a material is a more judgment-based marking, with general categories including metallic, vitreous, adamantine, or dull. The same idea extends to people. Sometimes the true luster of an object isn't apparent upon first glance. When an object is placed in an environment with certain types of lighting, or not enough light, it can appear to be dull. But that isn't the true potential of the material. If you were to place it in the right environment, you'd see that the object has a brilliant shimmer to it. Now, maybe you don't feel like you belong in your workplace. And if you feel that, chances are that those feelings are going to reflect outward for everyone to see. You've got to shine bright, no matter how the people in your workplace perceive you. If you think that you're dull, other people are going to match that expectation. But if you show them that you're bright, through consistent and repeated exposure, they'll come to know the radiance that you bring. They're going to need to put on their own sunglasses.
Make it, do it, makes us older, better, faster, stronger.
Hardness. This trait measures how well a mineral will resist abrasion by other objects. In geology, it's measured on the Mohs hardness scale, where talc is the softest mineral and diamond is the hardest. The higher up on the scale, the harder it is, and the more it can scratch other objects. the softer it is, the more it gets scratched. In the book I was assigned, The Map That Changed the World, William Smith and the Birth of Modern Geology, by Simon Winchester, Smith was bullied out of a profession that he ultimately revolutionized. The higher echelon of geologists with nobility and wealth stole his ideas and disrespected his work. At your internship, never let anyone scratch you up. If there are other interns in the office, your work could very well be under review and compared to each other. You might have competition. Fortunately, I get along with my coworker, Ricardo, so I don't have to worry. But you still gotta be a 10, and you gotta prove that you are worth your employer's time. If you keep mastering new skills and turning in excellent work, no one can deny the quality of your material.
It's my life, it's now or never. I ain't gonna live forever.
The moral of the story here is that identity is complicated. But by learning some geology, I learned a lot about myself this summer. I used to think that I was one of the immature, young 20-somethings that Robin Hennig writes about in the New York Times. Inexperienced, incapable, and inhibiting any progress towards becoming an adult. But now I know that I'm capable. I just never really had the opportunity to prove it. So for all you out there, ready to start your first official internship, remember your true colors. Give a rock-solid performance, and shine bright like the gems you are. Thank you.
Minerals! Rock! Mold! Let's go! Minerals aren't hard to identify. You just need to know the steps and try. It's luster, streak, and hardness, right? Test them all in just a short amount of time. Minerals aren't hard to identify. You just need to know the steps and try. It's luster, streak, and hardness, right? Show me you know how to scratch dust.